Welcome inside the McVan O'Keefe Ice Hockey Arena here in Peabody, Massachusetts. I am Bernard Parisi, once again bringing you Tanner girls ice hockey action. Today, this game will feature the St. Mary's Spartans of Lynn versus the Peabody Tanners of the Peabody Linfield North Reading Co-op. Call this game whatever you want, folks. Student versus teacher, battle of the Titans. Either way, these two teams come in as two of the most highly ranked teams in the Northeastern Conference. The Tanners 6-1-1 on the year. Their last game was a 2-0 win over a combined Medford-Malden squad, led by the terrific goaltending of Abigail Buckley, the senior netminder for the Tanners, and the terrific offense in front of her. As for the Spartans, they are ranked number 2 in the conference. They come into this game 6 wins, no losses, no ties. Undefeated, ranked 2nd. Their last game was a 5-1 win versus a tough Reading squad. Get this, folks, they've scored 36 goals on the year and only given up 4. They are going to be led likely by senior netminder Lauren Vaccaro in net number 30. She's played in 4 games this year, is 48 of 51 on saves, and with a shutout to her credit. This game is fixing to be probably the best game of the season to this point in the first half of the year. I'm Bernard Parisi, and we'll be right back with game time coverage here from the McVan O'Keefe Arena in Peabody, Mass. And we will bring you to today's the presentation of our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we honor all of our military veterans along with the men and women of our active military personnel around the world, please rise for the pledge of our national anthem.
As we bring you back to ice level here in Peabody, Massachusetts, the starting lineup coming out for the Tanners is the second line, rather than the usual first line, Amira Solo, Pierce, and I believe usually Paige Thibodeau. Today it's going to be Jen Flynn, Jess Robert, and Kat DiGiulio, 2 of the captains of this Tanner team out on the ice, with Riley Ganter and Carolyn Garofoli as the starting D pair. Back up ice come the Spartans, losing it quickly. DiGiulio back down to the corner with Robert, has gone back out across the blue to the center ice logo. And the Spartans will try to recoil. Robert gets her stick in there, gets it down. And Garofoli gloves it down out of the air, but the Spartans retain possession. Flynn in trying to get her stick down. I'll get her stick in between the skates of Maddie Hentosh, senior defender for the Spartans, according to my stat sheet, a Peabody native. And the Tanners trying to move it quickly up ice. Here they come, dumping it back down the length of the ice. This will be icing, and we'll get a fresh line change. Intentional icing just to get fresh legs out on the ice. And we have the high-octane line coming out for the Tanners. That is Pierce, Mirasolo, and Thibodeau. Thibodeau, a sophomore right winger, or sophomore winger, one of the toughest members of this Tanner bunch, I guess you could say. She's been the one that's not afraid to go down into the corners or to get into opponents' faces. Mirasolo, the Conference Player of the Year last year, and Pierce, the freshman center, taking the place of Mirasolo's sister, Cassie, who graduated this past year. We wish her nothing but the best. Back down ice into the neutral zone, and icing is canceled, and we are going to get an offside. Bring the face-off back into the neutral zone. The Spartans bunch, 6 wins, no losses, no ties on the year. According to the stat line, the second hottest team in the Northeastern Conference. Ranked number 2 with the Tanners, ranked number 9 in the conference out of about, I'd say, about 25 teams. Back down into the corner. The Spartans trying to get it out of their own zone because this Tanner bunch makes their living playing in front of the net. Thibodeau holding, trying to look for someone in front. Garofoli back along the boards, taking her time, banks it off the boards again. Thibodeau into the corner, covered there by 2 Spartan defenders. Thibodeau playing catch with Garofoli, trying to feed it into the middle for Pierce, and nothing there. Here come the Spartans, moving it up ice. Kate Gray, junior forward out of Marblehead. Fresh line change as this one's dumped back down the length of the ice. The expected starting goaltenders, Lauren Vaccaro, the senior for the Spartans, and Abby Buckley, the senior of the Tanners. Buckley last year played very well against this Spartan bunch. If you remember correctly, this first round playoff game for both teams was played against each other in Lynn, Massachusetts. The Spartans eventually won 2-0 behind the superb defense of their skaters in front of Vaccaro and net, but not without the heroics of Buckley. He was 42 of 44 in saves on the game. I was there myself covering the game. Trust me, folks, that was one of the best hockey performances I've ever seen. Into the neutral zone, here comes Flynn, deking it across, trying to set up DeJulo, who can't corral it. Sending it back down into the neutral zone is Felicia D'Alessandro. Taking it back is Zoe Solomons, my mistake. Moving it, here comes DeJulo, was all alone by herself in front, sipped just wide of the net. Flynn back into the behind, trying to spin around a defender, trying to set something up in front. The Tanners have made their living this season in front of the net, scoring dirty goals. They haven't been the prettiest, but it gets the job done. Into the neutral zone, we got a breakaway. It is Michaela McGrath in on net. Backhander is wide down. She scampers to the boards with a Tanner defender who is slow getting up, and I think she is hurt. Slow getting to her feet. We're trying to see who the winger was for the Tanners. I think it may have been Jess Robert or Paige Thibodeau. I think based on the line that was out on the ice, I believe it was Robert. Nope, it was, indeed, it was Jess Robert, number 20, actually no, that was Sadie Guerin, number 23, the freshman winger for the Tanners. She made her way to the bench under her own power. Hopefully she'll be back soon on the ice as Garofoli, I'd say, is probably the toughest defender on this Tanner bunch. I believe she's leading the team in penalty minutes this year. That's, you know, not exactly the thing you want to brag about, but it just goes to show how tough she is. She's not afraid to make the big play or the tough play when it counts. Back behind at the red line at the net, feeding it across, trying to backhand it in, and they won't find the net. Banking it off the boards, trying to, and this will be icing on the Tanners. We'll bring it back to the left of Buckley, as the Spartans will make a complete line change, all 5 skaters coming off and fresh 5 coming on. And the Tanners will make a forward line change, so the defenders Ganter and Garofoli, the new top defenseman pair after Mae Norton's graduation, will remain out on the ice. This rink is filling up pretty good, folks. The stands down to my right are filling up with friends and family of these very talented hockey players. Can't quite see what's going on from our angle along the boards. Flynn is thrown down to the ice. We'll get nothing here, no icing. Back behind to get it is Hentosh. Hentosh backhands it behind herself to Skylar Davis. Davis is shadowed there by Robert. Robert taking Guerin's place on this line. Robert, the senior captain of this Tanner bunch, moving it quickly. The secret for the Tanners in this game is they're going to have to play very physical with this Spartans bunch in order to have a chance to pull out the W here. The advantage that the Spartans bunch holds over the Tanners is size and speed. As we saw in last year's first round playoff game, what ended up burning the Tanners was just the sheer size and speed, was able to wear down the Tanner forwards early on and throughout the rest of the game. Face-off is taken there by the Tanners, I believe. Big scrum for the puck. Race for the puck. Here they come again. Mirasolo, the fastest player on the ice, has it sticked away. She kind of gave up on that one, hoping her defender was behind her. Here comes Solomons. Solomons gives it back to her defender. Thibodeau sticks it back behind, down to the corner. Back up at center ice, and the Spartans will try to recoil. We've seen very little offensive pressure in either zone in front of either goaltender. We've only seen 1 or 2 shots hit Buckley in the pads. I don't think we've seen any hit Vaccaro. That was the case last year. I believe the Tanners only put 12 shots on Vaccaro in the first round playoff game last year. Race to get it, and Thibodeau thought about it, but will go off for a change. The Tanners have to hurry to get the new line out because the Spartans were looking to send it up ice quickly. Here they come again. Kate Gray up to center. Cody Butt, a senior captain. Senior forward, 5 goals, 7 assists. Credit the Tanners starting it back up ice quickly. Here comes Jenny Flynn. Flynn looking to set it up, trying to feed it across. Oh, and it went through the skates of DeJulo. She had an open net chance. Starting back up with the ice now is the Spartans. Kate Gray. Sorry, I got my words a little jumbled up there, folks. Back scrum into the corner along the glass near the bench, near the penalty box. Back behind, roping it around, Butt back down to retrieve. Arguably the best forward on the ice for the Spartans right now, Butt able to stick it away. I believe she had a goal in the last game, in the playoff game last year, the 2-1 victory for St. Mary's. These two teams played each other on opening day of this hockey season. It was a Spartans 4-1 victory, and I believe we're going to get a call. And Garofoli's going to go to the box for 2 minutes with the Tanners. So the Spartans will start on a power play with 9:11 to show here in the first period. This is a student versus teacher matchup, is to say the least. Tanner head coach Michelle Roach was the first St. Mary's Spartans girls ice hockey captain when the program was formed. And she played under none other than Spartans head coach Frank Pagliuca. After she attended college, I believe, at St. Anselm's, she got her first ice hockey coaching job right here at St. Mary's. Mirasolo stumbles, wrists it on net, and it was blockered away by Vaccaro. Back behind, trying to set something up, looking for a winger to set it up too. Here comes Jenna Chaplin. Chaplin, listed on my stat sheet, is an 8th grade forward from Peabody, playing for this St. Mary's squad as the Tanners clear it back down the length of the ice with 1:35 to go on this power play. Into the offensive zone for the Spartans. Scrum along the boards, trying to set it up in front. No winger setting up in front of the net, but no, doesn't matter. Back to the point. Hentosh looking to set it up across, playing a little tic-tac-toe, and it is gloved by Buckley. So with the very few shots we have seen put on the net, they have been set up by terrific passing of this Spartan squad. Back to the point. Looking for something to set up. Hentosh down low, over the right shoulder of Buckley. Missed the net completely, back to the point again. Hentosh looking to set it up again. Wrister on net, wide, and it goes off of a stick in front. I believe it went off of Jess Roberts' stick, so good defensive awareness. Setting it up down low is Hentosh. Wrists it, and that is a Spartan goal, no doubt about it. I think it was Cody Butt who got it. If so, that is her 6th of the year. And the way they're celebrating, it appears that is so. Nope, it looks like it's going to be Jenna Chaplin on the goal, 8th grade forward, or their 5th on the year. Her 12th point overall, 1-0 here in the first period with 7:58 showing on the clock. Beautiful passing to set up that goal to the right of Buckley. That one was down at the bottom of the right circle. Pierce looking to set it up in front, and no one is there to retrieve the pass. Mirasolo trying to set it up ice, but I believe DeJulo's stick was tied up with number 7, Kelsey Sullivan. Big scrum near the penalty box. So back into the Tanner zone in front, and that is a quick goal for the Spartans. They're gonna rule that, I think, Marina DiBiaso got it. I think, if I'm reading that number 17 correctly, may have been Kelsey Sullivan. So it's Marina DiBiaso on the goal, sophomore forward, her 5th of the year. 2-0 here in the first period from Peabody, Mass. Beautiful stick handling has been the Achilles heel for the Tanners. So DiBiaso will be credited with the goal, but here come the Spartans again. Tanner starting it back up ice. Here they come. This is a prime opportunity. Jenny Flynn moving, shooting off the blocker of Vaccaro. Beautiful chance there for the Tanners. Maybe if it had a little bit of airtime on it. Butt tries to whiff it on net. Whiffs on the shot. Jen Flynn racing over to get it as the Spartans make a line change. Seen a lot of line juggling here in the first period. Charging it in is Sullivan, shadowed by Robert. As Chaplin will go back down to retrieve it, sent back into the zone. And the forward line will change for Peabody. Garofoli trying to wrist it along the boards, but Chaplin intercepts, moves in on net again. Held up there by Jenny Flynn. Actually, that's Maria Pierce, number 18. Tanners really want this game. They've lost 2 consecutive games, at least to my knowledge, to the St. Mary's Spartans, including their last year's first-round playoff game, where they're losing 2-0, and a 4-1 loss in game 1 for both teams this year. Sullivan wrists it back down ice. Fresh off the bench was Catherine Sweeney, who will send it back down. Sweeney, the freshman defenseman. Back behind the net. Sullivan looking to set something up, shadowed by Mirasolo. Mirasolo lets the puck go by her. It's back to Sullivan. Sullivan loses it briefly. Kept in the zone, but gotten out there. Robert goes back down to retrieve off of a couple shoulder pads. Yes, I'm saying shoulder pads, and it goes right into the skates of a Spartans defender. Up at center ice. Here they come again. Using the size, speed, and slick passing to their advantage against this Tanner bunch. Moving quickly up ice. Sadie Guerin trying to move the puck around a defender, has whisked it back down the length of the ice as Buckley wrists it wide to her right, or to her left. Flynn loses it quickly. Using their physical presence are the Spartans. The Tanners, I think what they need to do is they really need to be a little bit more mobile. They're waiting for the puck. They got to move towards it when it's being passed to them. That sounds kind of redundant to say, but folks, that is the truth of how this Tanner squad needs to get back into this game. And Buckley will freeze it there with 4:40 to go in the first period.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, there will be a 50-50 raffle this evening at the end of the second period. 50-50
On the face-off is Samantha Porozinski, sophomore forward/defender. 5 goals, 10 assists on the year. So on the draw will be Mirasolo and Porozinski. Back to the point. Mirasolo playing at the center spot, a new position for her. She's so much used to playing winger with her sister Cassie centering her line usually last year. And the Tanners trying to move with a little bit of urgency as Robert gets it up center. Shadowed by a defender was Paige Thibodeau. She was looking for a call there, I believe, won't get it. A little scrum. Tanners only have, I believe, 1 shot on net. Mirasolo trying to shoot something. It's rebound, and it was loose and gotten out. As Thibodeau backhands it behind to Robert. Back to the point, playing catch with Robert. This is Ganter. Ganter and Garofoli out at defense. Back down in the corner, Thibodeau. Prime offensive opportunity for the Tanners, trying to backhand it in front, won't get it. Wrap around in front. They poke away at it, and it is covered by Vaccaro. Or I thought they were celebrating a goal for a second there. I got really confused, and I knew that puck didn't go in. So Flynn, Robert, and DeJulo on the draw. Winning it are the Spartans. They get it back into the neutral zone. Tanner's trying to set something up. Flynn moving in all alone for the Tanners. Kept in onside. Not for long, though, as Michaela McGrath takes it out. McGrath trying to bank it off the boards as it's banked back into her skates. Into the corner goes Guerin to get it. DeJulo. DeJulo, a senior captain of this Tanner squad. Jenny Flynn. Flynn, one of the best goal scorers on this bunch besides Sammy Mirasolo. Trying to recoil to avoid an offside. They do with the Tanners. Here they come again. Jenna Chaplin sending it back down behind the net. Tanners go back to retrieve. Race to the puck to get it. Thibodeau will bank it off the glass. Pierce will try to set it up to center ice. Won't get it. Can get kind of confusing telling who's who on the ice because the Spartans wear gray jerseys and the Tanners wear white. I think she may have thought she was passing that to one of her teammates. And she did not. This one's on net. Vaccaro will hold it. And we got a stoppage of play with 2:29 to go in the first period. The 7th game for the Tanners and 9th for the Spartans. Or I believe, check that, 9th game for the Tanners, 7th for the Spartans. So the Tanners, a stat worth noting, this season they are undefeated at home. 4 wins, no losses, 1 tie. They find themselves behind 2-0 early in this contest. Robert wins the draw. Flynn trying to get there. Garofoli slaps it off the boards. Flynn holding. Trying to set it up in front, won't get there. Back down the length of the ice. Waiting for it to go down for an icing, and it will not be. Cancels it off. Garofoli trying to stick handle it away. Here come, and she goes down. That is an obvious penalty call on Garofoli. She'll go to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. With 2:06 to go here in the first period. Second time Garofoli's been to the box in this first period. It's been kind of a problem for her so far in her high school career as a Tanner. I believe she's one of the leading penalty minute receivers on this Tanner bunch this year. Her and Paige Thibodeau are the two tough guys, for lack of a better phrase, they're the two tough guys on this team. Not afraid to do the dirty play that no one else wants to. Setting it up, playing tic-tac-toe again, wrister on net, and it goes wide. This penalty, if nothing happens, will take us to the end of the first period. 1:58 to go in the first with 1:53 left on this power play. Sullivan, Hentosh, setting it up down low. Chaplin again. Up center ice, and almost a breakaway for Mirasolo. It was stolen away by Hentosh. Banking it off the boards, just trying to kill off some time. Hentosh sending it up to her left winger. That's Cody Butt again. But holding without much pressure. Sticked back into the middle. Sticked down by the Spartans. Feeding it across, looking for a shot. Slapper blocked aside by Buckley, and the rebound goes back out. This penalty seemed like it's taking forever with 1:10 to go on this power play. Back down the length of the ice as both teams make almost total line changes. Pierce, giveaway. She blows a tire, goes down as she had a prime scoring opportunity. Held up along the boards by 2 defenders. Sullivan holding her in along the glass. As DiBiaso with one of the goals. Pierce will wrist it back along the glass. Hentosh been out there for the duration of this power play as Buckley will freeze it. With 40.1 to go in the first and 34 seconds to go on this power play. This game is brought to you by Peabody Access TV. They bring you all of your local sporting events and community events here in Peabody, Massachusetts. Our games are usually filmed and then streamed on our Peabody Access TV YouTube channel, as well as local Channel 8, and I believe several other local affiliate networks, actually. Here come the Spartans, moving it quickly. I believe it's Chaplin again, trying to get it behind the net, in front, and couldn't get her stick down. It was a Spartans forward. I believe it was actually Felicia D'Alessandro or Samantha Porozinski. Back behind. Buckley moving left to right. He's trying to set something up down low. Are the Spartans back to the point? Hentosh. This power play's been killed off. Slap shot at the end of the power play, and Buckley with another save. So with 0.6 seconds to go in the period, Vaccaro will head to the bench just to get a sixth attacker out on the ice in the event that somehow someone gets a stick down off the face-off and puts it on net. Seen it happen before. Last year, the Boston Bruins playing the LA Kings. Tyler Toffoli scored with 0.2 seconds to go after a face-off with 0.7 to go in the game. And we will go to the locker room at the first intermission. The Spartans leading this first half of the season match 2-0 going into the first intermission. The goal scorers Jenna Chaplin and Marina DiBiaso of the Spartans. What's keeping the Tanners in the game right now is the goaltending of Abigail Buckley. Going into the second period, they really need to tighten up on defense and play a little less conservative on offense. We will be right back from the McVan O'Keefe Ice Hockey Arena. I'm Bernard Parisi with Peabody Access TV, and we'll bring you more hockey action in just a few minutes. Welcome back inside the McVan O'Keefe Ice Hockey Arena in Peabody, Massachusetts, as we enter the second period of this Northeastern Conference tilt. The St. Mary's Spartans of Lynn, Mass have a 2-0 lead over the Peabody Tanners as we go to the second period on goals by Jenna Chaplin and Marina DiBiaso, sophomore forward and an 8th grade forward on this board with their 5th goals of the season. The key to the Tanners to get back into this game is they probably have to play a little bit more, a little tighter on defense. I guess that kind of goes without saying considering they're down 2-0. But they also need to play a little bit more aggressive on the puck side attack. They really need to work on not necessarily finding the open man, but they really need to work on trying to move the puck into open ice as opposed to passing it as much. I know on a sheet of ice you kind of need to pass the puck, but in order to get back into this game, that's just in this analyst's opinion, that's how they can get back into this game. Vaccaro returning to net. She had, I think, only a couple saves on the period. The Tanners didn't apply much offensive pressure to the senior goaltender. If I'm not mistaken, from speaking to Tanner players last year, I'm not quite sure. I might be mistaking her with someone else, but I believe Lauren Vaccaro actually was a Tanner goaltender at one point before, but she couldn't get any playing time, so she transferred to St. Mary's of Lynn, and she has performed superbly for the Spartan bunch and Coach Pagliuca, the longtime St. Mary's of Lynn coach, as the Spartans immediately applying offensive pressure behind the net, looking to set it up at the corners. Both goals have come from the wing slot. Slap shot on net, stick down, and Buckley has to dive, and that's in the net. It counts. Jenna Chaplin, second of the game. I think what happened, it looked like Buckley had it. I think when she hit the ice, her hands came up a little bit and had a bunch of sticks whacking and smacking at her glove, and the puck just kind of dripped over the line, and we have a 3-0 lead for the Spartans, only 22 seconds into the second period. So the Tanners in a hole immediately. The Spartan bunch is really going to town on this Tanner bunch. Here comes Thibodeau in front. Backhander is sticked aside. I think it went off of the stick of a defender in front. So Jenna Chaplin will get her second goal of the game. Wrister on net, and the quick glove of Vaccaro gets it down out of the air. The first Tanner shot in quite some time. Little Massachusetts sports update. This Sunday will be the Patriots' first playoff game of their 2018-19 season versus the Los Angeles Chargers, who beat the Baltimore Ravens 23-17 last week, or earlier this week, should I say, as the Spartans get it in front, but it is gotten out of there by Ella McTeague is taking the ice. McTeague has been a spot player for the Tanners this season. I believe the net actually came off. Yeah, the net is off its moorings. And they're trying to get, Frank Pagliuca is trying to get the officials' attention. The net is off its moorings, but doesn't look like Buckley's gonna fix it. I don't think she even realizes it, as this one's back down the length of the ice, and the official signals icing, and he'll go back to, and no, actually, and he missed it at first. He gets signaled again that the net is off its moorings. And he puts it back in place. 13:32 to go in the second period of this Northeastern Conference tilt. Vaccaro has been perfect in net, though she's only faced a couple shots to this point. Face-off is won by the Tanners. Sweeney, actually no, it is Guerin back in the defenseman's position. A new defenseman pairing. It's going to be Sadie Guerin and Catherine Sweeney. I guess Coach Michelle Roach is really trying out as many different combinations as she can going into this second period. Also later in the season, kept in by Guerin. Guerin listed on my stat sheet as a forward. Has a goal or two to her credit this season. Puck is touched, and it will be a hooking call, I believe, on the Tanners. So Jess Robert will go to the box for 2 minutes, and the call will be hooking. So what has proven to be the Tanners' Achilles heel throughout the past couple seasons, early penalties will befell them yet again. The Tanners try to kill this one off. It's going to take a Herculean effort to come back in this one. Mirasolo gloves it down into the middle, almost unchallenged, shadowed by Ganter in front, and poked down to the ice. And got it away were the Tanners. It was Mirasolo. Mirasolo's proven herself to be not only a good scorer, but an easily capable physical presence. Back down in front, and it went off the stick of Porozinski and wide. To the back now it comes, and here are the Tanners, and they're going to signal offsides on the Spartans. Kinda could have gone either way. I think the puck just skirted the line. I don't think it actually ever went over. So I will say about the penalties here, about the officials here today, they have got the penalties right, and no, it looks like it's gonna be Cody Butt going to the box for 2 minutes. Not sure what the call is. It'll be 4-on-4 for another minute 31, and the Tanners after that will be on a 29-second power play. Sweeney is set up with Ganter. Haven't seen much of Garofoli to this point. Trying to move it quickly. It's 4-on-4 even strength. Any pass from across the red line will be an icing. Back down behind the net, moving. Holding, and it is covered by Buckley. Good patience by Buckley not to go down too quick, so that could set up a potential shot off the stick of, it was going to be Marina DiBiaso. So Sweeney out on the D line with Ganter, Mirasolo, and Thibodeau. Kind of a new line combination we've seen this season. Held up along the boards by Ganter. Was number 15, Felicia D'Alessandro. In front, and it trickles in! It is Marina DiBiaso's second of the game. Twos are wild here in Peabody, Mass. So DiBiaso's second of the game, fourth for the So 4-0 here in the first period. The Tanners will now be on a power play for another minute 19. Actually, no. They're sending Robert back to the box. Not quite sure exactly why. Trying to figure that out later. Back down behind, so they will be on. Actually, no, it looks like they may have waved it off. I'm not sure. The scoreboard has not changed, and Robert is still in the box. I know the scoreboard does change to 4 minutes, or 4 goals. Maria Pierce starting it back ahead. Maria Pierce flanked by Jenny Flynn. Pierce stick handles around, back to Flynn, and she is leveled at center ice. That should have been an obvious call there. Roach is not happy that there was a no call there. Flynn appears to be all right. It was an open ice hit. The puck was not on her stick, and she was not looking. I gotta say, that's the first call today that I just do not agree with whatsoever. As the Tanners are now gonna be on a power play with 23 seconds to go on their chance. Ganter back down behind, will have to bank it off the glass. Robert is out of the box, 14 to go on this power play. Ganter, one last chance to move quickly up ice. Mirasolo, and it's banked off the boards into the neutral zone, and that will kill it off. McTeague sending it, going back down to retrieve, spins, and she sends the pressure from Porozinski. Loses it to Porozinski in front, and it will be gotten out. Here's Thibodeau, offers skates, Mirasolo, back to Thibodeau, who holds it, sends it back along. Thibodeau to Mirasolo, who sends it back to Thibodeau. Back down is Sweeney. We have yet to, I believe actually we've yet to see Carolyn Garofoli in front, and it is gotten out. Almost kept in, it will go back down, and no icing will be called as we'll get a complete forward line change. And oh, I believe the call is going to be one of the rarest of penalties that you'll ever see called in a hockey game. I believe it's going to be too many men on the ice. If I'm not mistaken, as we have a Tanner going to the box. No, she'll go to the box. Mirasolo to the box. 2 minutes for slashing. We've seen a lot of increased intensity out of Mirasolo this season. Far cry from her sophomore year, which she scored 27 goals last season and 14 assists and was named Northeastern Conference Player of the Year. Trying to make some changes there, as they'll be on another power play for the Spartans. Through the legs of Porozinski into the neutral zone, but Sullivan back to retrieve. And banking it back in with Solomons. Ganter, sophomore defenseman. Pushed into the boards was Pierce, no call. Stick handles around Thibodeau, or Robert. Back behind, losing it is D'Alessandro, held up along the boards by Sweeney is D'Alessandro. DiBiaso in front, rebounds, sprawling for it is Buckley, and it is somehow gotten out by the Tanner defense. Wrister on net, it was a scorching wrister, but cleared out by Ganter. Slapper from the point, and it is wide, and the official's arm is up. And it is going to be a call on the Spartans. I believe it is going to be on Felicia Dialis, or no, it is going to be on Zoe Solomons. 2 minutes for hooking, I believe. So Buckley still in net, despite giving up 4 goals in the first 2 periods. I would imagine if she gives up another, Coach Michelle Roche will not hesitate to put Jenny Collins in, her junior backup, and the presumptive starter starting next season when Buckley graduates. Back behind the net. So 4-on-4 for another 54 seconds. And the Tanners will be on a power play for just over a minute. Race to the puck with Pierce. Or is that Sweeney? And it will be icing. Off the draw, Spartans looking to move it quickly up ice, trying to make it a 5-0 game. They will wrist it back to the front of Vaccaro, who will see it go up to Cody Butt. Sweeney blows it past a falling down Cody Butt. Guerin wrists it on net from the center ice logo. Nothing happening. 8:12 to go in this second period of this ninth game for the Tanners. Butt in on net, and it is blocked by the stick of Guerin. Back to the point, trying to set it up again. This has been the problem for the Tanners, the slick passing of the Spartans. Butt trying to wrap it around, and it is sticked away by Guerin again. As Pierce will wrist it, and it will go into the bench area of the Spartans. So even when you're sitting on the bench, you gotta look up when you're playing hockey. So the Tanners will be on a power play for the next 51 seconds. And I believe we're going to get a timeout called here by, I think it is the Spartans. 7:42 showing on the clock in the second period, 51 seconds to go on a Tanner power play. And the score extended on goals by the two first period goal scorers, Jenna Chaplin and Marina DiBiaso. Number 24 and number 17 of the Spartans, so we've confirmed it is a timeout by the Spartans. Tanner's gonna need nothing short of a miracle to get back into this game. A little more local sports updates. The Boston Bruins on a bit of a torrid hot streak, extending from past the break for the Winter Classic. They're starting with a win versus Buffalo, in Buffalo on a Sean Corrali overtime goal, a Massachusetts native. Followed by, and most recently, I believe it was a 4-0 win over the Minnesota Wild. The Wild came to Boston and the Bruins scored on some of the wackiest goals you've seen all year. I saw one shot go off of the chest of Bruins second-year forward Jake DeBrusk and ricocheted in the net. And Tuukka Rask playing some of the best hockey he has to this point this season. Refreshing to see him playing after his early season struggles. Having to race off the ice is McTeague to avoid a 6-man on the ice penalty as the door shuts. 3-on-2 for the Tanners. The forward line moving quickly. Pierce sends it back. Thibodeau has a little open ice to work with, but it is gotten away by the Spartans. Moving quickly. As Felicia D'Alessandro was able to move it quickly into the zone. 30 seconds to go on this power play for Peabody. Back to the point, so even when they're shorthanded, not afraid to take some chances with 23 to go. Not seeing the defender was Sweeney down, and the puck is under her shin pad. No call as Mirastola will chase it back down. This will end the power play with 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 to go. So the Spartans have killed it off. Intercepted right off the pass. Off the bench was Cody Butt. Trying to bank it behind her was Robert. We're kind of seeing the steam just taken right out of this Tanner bunch. Their passing has been, I hate to say it as a Peabody native and a lifelong Tanner fan, it seems like it's been kind of uninspired to this point. And girls, please, if you listen to this game after this, when it's posted online or on TV, please know that's just doing my job, having to call the game as Buckley with a remarkable save. And Butt and McTeague getting into it after the whistle. Just know that it's obviously, and this is for if there's any St. Mary's fans or any other fans who are listening to the games that I've called this year, just know that it's nothing personal. I'm just trying to do my job as an announcer. I have to remain impartial. Off the face-off, DeJulo moving up ice quickly with Jenny Flynn. So the two Jens moving quick. Actually, no, sorry, I'm thinking of DeJulo's sister Jen. It's Kat DeJulo out on the ice for the Tanners. Flynn behind the net. Banks it off the boards, but skating it out quickly is Michaela McGrath. McGrath taking her time, moving rather gingerly as this one's intercepted by the Tanners. Here comes a chance here. Guerin will go down on her face. No call will be made. 5:40 to go. Period moving slow. Here they come. The Spartans wrap around. No, it is trying to tuck it in from the right side. Uninspired shot. Moving on in, Buckley have to see through a wall of her own defenders and St. Mary's forwards. So they've already doubled the score from last year's playoff game, the Spartans have, and they've already scored as many goals as they did in their game one matchup in Lynn, Mass. Back down behind, Pierce trying to retrieve it, will not get there. One noticeable player we've not seen on the ice that I've seen a lot of in early week games, or early season games, defenseman number 21, Anya Pinillo, as this one's in on net. Tanners will try to get it out, and they do. Ganter thought about slapping it around the boards, trying to get an intentional icing to get a line change, as Ganter will race to the bench. And yeah, we're likely, as this one whiffed on the shot is Thibodeau. So good offensive opportunity for the Tanners. Whiffed on the shot and just better defense of the Spartans. You have to think, because we have not seen Carolyn Garofoli, the veteran presence on this Tanner defensive front, you have to think the reason we haven't seen her is because she had 2 tough penalties in the first period, was in the box 4 minutes combined. Wrap around, losing it is Mirasolo, held along the board, stick tie up high. Mirasolo not happy. I think the reason we've kind of seen a little bit more temper out of the Tanner forward this year is because her senior forward sister may not be there. That might be part of the reason why. She's not there to really keep her in check. I mean, it's not bad to have a little explosiveness when you're such a talented player as Mirasolo. Flynn back to trying to get a Tanner in front. DeJulo has one open in the slot. They did not see her. Back down the length of the ice into the Tanner zone, as shadowed by 2 defenders as Guerin off the bench area of the Spartans, moving it up to DeJulo. DeJulo on net, rebounds, and it was at a no angle. So the Tanners finally putting some shots on Vaccaro with 3:10 to go in the second period. Robert, sit on net, DeJulo, backhander to the front, and it was blocked aside by Vaccaro. Guerin wrists it off of a bunch of sticks in front. .248 to go in the second period. Here come the Spartans. 2-on-2, roughly. Here they come again at the center ice logo. Wrister on net, and Buckley gets it out. Sprawling, and the net came off its moorings as Buckley, I think she kicked the net just to try to have a little momentum across the crease, and it came off. Regardless, she was able to glove it down out of the air. As we got a complete forward line change for Peabody, McTeague and Ganter as the new pairing as opposed to Ganter and Garofoli. Garofoli standing at the bench area as if she's coming into the game just momentarily. With a competitor like her, she can't be happy she's out of the game. Mirasolo trying to backhand it to the front. Here they come. Skylar Davis held along the boards by a couple Tanner defenders. Chaplin back to the point. Slap shot tipped down by the stick of Pierce. Wrister fluttering towards net, and Solomons almost had a stick on it and could have poked it in. Buckley guarding the right side of the net. Tanner's trying to get it out. Chaplin back to the point. Another slap shot out of the air, almost gloved down. Rebound, and almost found its way through the 5-hole, but covered miraculously by Buckley. So new player we're seeing on the ice for St. Mary's of Lynn is Megan Partham, a junior defenseman from Marblehead, Mass, her hometown. No stat line for her. She has no goals, no assists on the year. Back down, DiBiaso, Sweeney. DiGiulio moving it up, tipped, center ice at the logo, at the P logo for the Tanners. Here comes Robert. Robert with DiGiulio to her right, trying to get it on net, off the outside of the net, I believe. Sweeney passes it along, intercepted by a Spartans defender. Here come the Spartans again, moving in is DiBiaso, and sticked away by Sadie Guerin. Wrister on net from the point into the chest of Guerin. Guerin has been really good defensive forward for the Tanners in this game. 50 seconds to go, and the refs will get a call. So we're going to get a face-off down at the Spartan zone. On the draw is Mirasolo, back to the point. Wristed backhand along the boards by McTeague. Scrum down in the corner. Scrum near the official. Ref, get out of the way there, buddy. Here come the Spartans yet again. Here they move in on net. It is Bud. Backhander is, I think, sticked away by a defender. Backhanded up along the boards, and it looked like for a second that was coming right for this broadcast perch. In front, what a save by Buckley! Remarkable save by the senior netminder. When your voice cracks when you're announcing, it means it was a good play, folks. And the clock strikes 0. We go to the second intermission here from Peabody, Mass. 2 more goals scored by the Spartans of St. Mary's, both on the first period goal scorers, Jenna Chaplin and Marina DiBiaso. We'll bring you right back to the McVan O'Keefe Ice Hockey Arena in just a moment. Once again, St. Mary's holding a 4-0 lead over Peabody going into the third period. I'm Bernard Parisi with Peabody Access TV, and we will be right back.
DC Rentals has been in business for almost 30 years, offering state-of-the-art radio communications and security camera systems. DC Rentals is able to cater our system, scale it down to any size event, large or small. Our custom-built trailers are designed for fast deployment with full video and communication capabilities. We offer top-of-the-line Motorola and Hytera dispatch and radio equipment, along with Telex and Zetron consoles. DC Rentals Mobile Command Trailer is also available for special events or emergency. In addition, we provide individual and group training sessions on all of our equipment, as well as 24-hour customer service. DC Rentals can be reached at 781-289-3000 or on the internet at dcrentals.net. DC Rentals is a proud sponsor of Peabody TV.
Welcome back inside the McVan O'Keefe Ice Hockey Arena in Peabody, Massachusetts. I'm once again Bernard Parisi, bringing you girls ice hockey action from Peabody, Mass. The Spartans of St. Mary's in Lynn holding a 4-0 lead over the Tanners, moving into this pivotal third period. And we see Abigail Buckley remaining in net. I gotta say, to be honest with you, a surprise move after 4 goals in the first period. She has not put Collins in net as Buckley immediately into the period. Barely even 10 seconds into the period has a glove down underneath. So the Spartans keep applying offensive pressure in the late going, even with a 4-goal lead, not taking any chances. Back to the point, Hentosh banks it off the boards. Back down to retrieve is Chaplin. I believe Chaplin with 2 goals to her credit. Wristed on net and stolen away almost. Mirasolo trying to show off her speed, won't get there. Will not be an offside. Pierce. Mirasolo trying to get it in front, and Thibodeau almost had the tip in. In front, and it's remarkable save by Vaccaro as Mirasolo could not believe she didn't tip that one in. As that was a pivotal offensive opportunity for the Tanners. 35 seconds into this period. Won by Peabody. Trying to get it in front was McTeague, or DeJulo, pardon me. Only saw the 7 on her jersey as this one's back into the neutral zone. Almost whiffed on by Ganter. Cody Butt with a race to the puck with McTeague. And one can assume that Garofoli has been benched, sad to say. A very talented Tanner defenseman. Just let her penalties get the best of her. Something that she will really need to work on in practice moving forward in this season. A loss today would drop the Tanners to 6-2-1. Slap shot on net in front, and it is gotten out by the Spartan defenders. Here comes Hentosh. Nope, that is Cody Butt. I apologize. I really hope I'm pronouncing that name correct, folks. If not, I apologize, and comment below on the video if you're watching this on YouTube. Tie up along the boards, no movement. The official is not blowing his whistle. He can still see the puck. DeJulo and Robert there for Peabody. Butt there with Porozinski. Gotten out. The Tanners holding it back along the glass, and it will be an icing as we'll get a line change for Peabody. 13:23 to go in regulation. Should I say in this game? We don't play overtime here in the Northeast Conference. Just end in ties if the score is still all knotted up. On the draw, Spartans win it, but the Tanners intercept. They jump all over this. Maria Pierce moving with some passion. Down on her face, and the Tanners will have a power play for the next 2 minutes. It will be 2 minutes on, I believe it's going to be Jill Kirby, 2 minutes for tripping. So Kirby, a new player we've seen on the ice. She has a goal and 3 assists to her credit. So a Tanner power play coming up. Some words exchanged between Pierce and Felicia D'Alessandro on the faceoff. Mirasolo in on the draw, winning it. Well, actually, can't really dictate a clear winner as those Tanners come out with it finally. Thibodeau behind the net, trying to set up Pierce in front, won't get there. Back, Guerin, slap shot, just misses the referee's head. If you're a fan of the Tanners, I'm sure you wish the puck had hit him in the head because your team is losing after several penalties. 1:37 to go on this power play here in the third period. Wristed back along the glass, could not take it, was Thibodeau. Thibodeau forward with plenty of potential. Trying to deke out a defender. She was trying to fake out D'Alessandro, trying to set it up as Thibodeau. Back to the point. McTeague, or that's Ganter sending it down low. Thibodeau again in a retrieve. Trying to get it in front. If she can pass it hard enough, she can. That is going to be high stick on Pierce. She sticked it down, got the stick above the crossbar, and we'll get a face-off back down into the neutral zone of the... Nope, that puck's going to go back down to the offensive zone of the Spartans, to the right of Abby Buckley. Newest addition to the goaltending core for the Tanners is Audrey Buckley. No relation, however, I am told by Coach Michelle Roach of the Tanners, to her starting goaltender, Abigail Buckley. Here come the Tanners as Mirasolo lets it go under her stick. Have to recoil. And, oh, that was a little iffy. Could have gone either way on that offside. Bring it back into the neutral zone. 44 seconds to go on this Tanner power play. This power play brought to you by Peabody Access TV, bringing you all your local events and sporting events, such as high school games like this one. Games will be on local network television and also on our YouTube channel, Peabody Access TV's YouTube channel. Race to the puck with Porozinski moving in. It is sticked away by a Tanner defender. I think it was none other than Sadie Guerin again. Guerin, a forward on our stat sheet, but proving herself to be a very good defender. Race to the puck with Megan Partham with Maria Pierce. Pierce will, no, it is with a 4-0 hole. Looks like Coach Michelle Roach is trying out some new players. She has put Charlotte Grant out on the ice. First time we've seen her, at least in my knowledge, wrapped and almost tucked in on Buckley, but has gotten aside. We're seeing Charlotte Grant out on the ice, one of the elected captains of this bunch. She has not seen virtually any playing time in her career here at Peabody High School, I believe. Wristed and off the blocker of Buckley. Sweeney was looking for Robert. Robert was not looking, however. Could have been damaging for the Spartans as we'll get another change. Grant will come off. McTeague, Sweeney, Pierce, Mirasolo, and Thibodeau will come on. Off the draw, the Spartans win it, but the Tanners take it right away. Mirasolo trying to put on her blazing speed, gets around Hentosh. Mirasolo along the boards, over the official's head. On net, Sweeney off her glove of Vaccaro and back into the corner. Back down behind the net to get it is Skylar Davis. Davis gives it up to Zoe Solomons as this one's raced to the puck with two Tanner forwards. Pierce backhands it behind to McTeague. McTeague, a forward on our stat sheet, playing defense, I believe. Yep, she's listed as a forward, a freshman forward for the Tanners. In front, and it is saved by Buckley again. Sweeney slaps it down the ice for an icing, and we'll get a line change. With the clock showing exactly 10 minutes to go, we're halfway through this third period and almost towards the end of regulation. If the Spartans hold on, barring a Herculean miracle effort by the Tanners, will walk away with their undefeated record intact. I'm sure the Tanners at this point really just trying to tack one on, trying to do something here. Get something going to build on for next week as Flynn, you can tell a player is moving fast when you can see the hair blowing behind her. Save, rebound, and almost tucked in by Jenny Flynn off the outside of the net, and we get her back out. And the officials blows his whistle, and the net is off its moorings yet again. It's this net always, and it's always the right post. So Flynn with the prime scoring opportunity. As Charlotte Grant was on the ice again, they'll send her back off. As we have Ganter and McTeague out with Flynn, Mirasolo, and Thibodeau. Won by the Spartans. Back down to get it is Jenna Pertel, an 8th grade defender from Beverly, Mass. No stats on her stat sheet. Race to the puck, moving on in, and it is sticked away. Sullivan back with Pertel. Pertel looking to set something up, trying to show off a little bit for her new coach. She is an 8th grader, looking to show that coach made the right decision, including her on the roster. And on net, rebound, Buckley, save, and it's got out Mirasolo, moving it quickly up and down the ice. And Mirasolo will go to the box. 2 minutes for hooking. And Roach is not happy. You can hear her from up here. She was saying that it was a body check. That shouldn't have been a call. As Mirasolo was in the box for 2 minutes. Barring a goal, she'll be out at the 7:03 mark of this third period. As we see down to her right at the penalty box, Mirasolo is joined there by now graduated in front, and it is sticked away. She's joined there by ex-Tanner teammates, graduated last year. Her sister Cassie Mirasolo and the original number 21 of this bunch, Katie Purcell, who graduated last year as well. Both team captains last year, and looked like it was accidentally off the stick of a Spartan into the netting, and a fan will contemplate throwing it back over the boards, but you have a net there, my friend. as Frank Pagliocca shouting instructions to his ever so talented bunch. The Spartans routinely recruiting some of the best young talent in the Northeastern Conference. That's one thing to say if Frank Pagliocca has been coaching this bunch for this long. And their only head coach for many years. He's been the only head coach that this girls program is known. And it is on net off the glove of Vaccaro. Robert was trying to get her goal. 8:14 to go in regulation. Whacked along the boards, taken there by Porozinski, and Ganter will have to retrieve and send it off the stick of Porozinski again. Sullivan. Along the boards, Sullivan holding. In front, and a sliding save by Buckley. It's still loose. She was trying to freeze it. I think it was whacked away. As Thibodeau holding a player along the boards. I think it is Chaplin. She's holding in front. 7:37 to go in regulation. 31 seconds to go on this power play. In front, and that is yet another goal as she goes down, the captain Cody Butt with her 6th of the season. 13th point on the year as the Spartans extend their lead to 5. As Roach is not pleased at all with the officials, and it looked like, hate to say it, she was not pleased with the effort of her players in this game. It's 5-goal hole here. Mirasola right off the face-off, trying to get it spinning, holding, looking to set up something, fakes out a defender, gives it back to Flynn in front, Mirasolo, and no one there. Here comes McTeague's shot, save, it went off of someone in front. Mirasolo back to get it. McTeague back to the defenseman slot. McTeague playing catch with Mirasolo. Back down, Charlotte Grant getting her first substantial action this season. McTeague loses it back into the neutral zone. Chased there by Kate Gray. Chasing her is Felicia D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro shadowed by 2 defenders. Trying to tuck it in, was looking for someone to pass it to and will not get it. 6:43 to go. Here come the Tanners. Trying to get it across, nothing there, in on net, and it was banking off of defenders left and right. Wrap around, save, Vaccaro, rebound, oh, what a chance at the front, they won't get anything at it. McTeague, wrister, wide of the net, and Flynn taking it in front, and she couldn't get a defender, or one of her forwards to get it. Back down the length of the ice, intentional icing, just trying to get a stoppage of play for a quick change. We'll bring it back to the left of Vaccaro. .6:13 to go in this game. A 5-goal deficit for the Tanners. Their next game will be this Sunday right here at the McVan O'Keefe Rink versus their in-town rivals, Bishop Fenwick High School. Playing the Crusaders, this will function as I believe the home game for the Crusaders this year before the annual Carlin Cup matchup between the girls of Fenwick and the girls of Peabody High. Here come the Spartans, and it is into the chest of Buckley. She saves it again. So Buckley remaining in net with Collins on the bench. Gotta think she might consider getting her out of there just so it doesn't mentally mess with her head a little bit in preparation of their ever important and well, exciting game versus Fenwick. Robert back to the point. Guerin was trying to get it, had her stick tied up with a defender, trying to move it to Julo, bounces on her. Thibodeau had her stick on it, but it was bounced away. Here comes Chaplin again. Sticked away by Guerin. If I were Coach Michelle Roach, I'd consider putting Guerin as a defender for the remainder of the season, the way she's played. Here comes Guerin. Guerin around behind the net. Shadowed by Hentosh. In the middle, shot, save, Bakal rebound, and DeJulo was there just a split second too late. Back to the point, Roberts shot, on net, covered, no, the puck is still loose, and the ref's whistle had blown. As Hentosh looked like it passed the puck to Vaccaro to get a cover. And this is a pair of officials that I'm sure Michelle Roach will have a couple choice words for at the end of this game. 4:59 to go in regulation with a 5-goal lead for the Spartans. Off the draw, the Tanners at the point, wristed on net, race to the puck with Flynn, can't get there. Porozinski sending it back along the boards, and she'll give it up to her teammate Kate Gray. Cody Buttett setting up at the side of the net. Nope, she'll wrap around behind with the puck in the corner. McTeague, 4:39 to go, and we hear a lot of oohs from around this crowd. I didn't quite see what was going on. I'm guessing someone got hit pretty hard. Cody Butt moving around the defense, moves right in, and Grant down on her face, and she is down and goes into the boards hard. Gets up, but she is slow getting up. She was on her knees and went face first into the boards. Hopefully she is all right. She will skate to the bench. She's favoring one of her legs. Well, she may have been a little knocked, hit her chest. Now it looks like she is favoring one of her legs as she goes to the bench area. As Coach Pagliuca will confer with the ref, asking if that was a penalty, and from up here, I'd say that was a clean play, but fell down under her own power, blew a tire, and she went into the boards herself. So I would think it's pretty preposterous to think that there would be a call here. I get that Coach Pagliuca is just trying to protect one of his players, and we are going to get a penalty here. It appears, it looks like Kate Gray will go to the box for 2 minutes. Not quite sure what the call is here. Off the draw, the Spartans win it, wrist it back down. Almost kept in by Ganter, race to the puck. Here comes D'Alessandro in on net. Down on her face goes Guerin. In front, Hentosh. And what an open ice hit by Flint. Here comes Mirasolo. Mirasolo across, and it was sticked wide. Down on her face goes Thibodeau, looking for a call, won't get it. Mirasolo trying to tuck it in, won't get it. Thibodeau kicks at it, back to her defender, Ganter, playing without her usual line mate, Garofoli. She has been benched by Coach Michelle Roach of the Tanners. Mirasolo sends it down low, Flynn. Down on her rear goes Marina DiBiaso, who has 2 goals tonight. DiBiaso, Butt, and Chaplin on the goals tonight. No goals to report for the Tanners with 3:09 left in regulation. 1 minute on the power play left. Here comes Marina DiBiaso again. Backhands it behind the net. What I'd say was what has helped this Spartan bunch jump out to a 5-0 lead is their slick passing, their size, and their sheer speed, as well as Coach Frank Pagliuca's perfect use of his lines. He's using good, fluid line changes to keep fresh legs out on the ice at all times. Guerin ends it up to Thibodeau. As Guerin again retrieves it. Up ice. Hands weren't soft enough for Charlotte Grant. Grant, who is seeing her first significant ice time this season. 12 seconds to go on the power play. This will kill it off. Can't believe we're seeing a game this year without a Sammy Mirasolo, or a game today without a Mirasolo or a Flynn breakaway. Out of the box comes Gray, racing across ice to make a change. Out on the ice comes, I believe it is Hentosh. My hands are frozen to this microphone. In the middle, Robert wrists in and is wide. Had a clear path to the net, went wide. In front, looking for someone, will not get there. It is gotten out by Megan Partham. Partham sends it up to Hentosh. Hentosh off the outside of the net with 1:35 to go in this game. Tanner's just looking for 1 to build on, moving into their next game versus Fenwick. Last two Carlin Cup matchups between Fenwick and Peabody High resulted in Abby Buckley shutouts. 4-0 victories, as well as a Sammy Mirasolo hat trick. A cross spinning play, trying to look for someone. Here they come again. The Tanners looking to get it in front. Mirasolo sends it on net, won't get there. Rebound, and Robert back down to retrieve. Mirasolo, got to see the life has kind of been sucked out of this Tanner bunch. 1 minute to go in regulation. Unless it is possible to score 5 goals in a minute, and I haven't even been able to do that in a video game in my life, then the Spartans' perfect record will remain untouched. And Tanners will drop only their 2nd game of the year. And both losses, worth noting, have come to this St. Mary's of Lynn squad. Back to the point, sent on net. Buckley is able to glove it down with 31.1 showing here in regulation. Off the draw, the Spartans still playing aggressive on offense despite the 5-0 score with 27 now left in the game. Just trying to play keep away now. The Tanners with their probable last offensive rush of the game. Flynn with no one with her. Got it across, and Gearing got her stick down on it. Almost kept in. They have to recoil with 10 to go. Off the top of the glass, almost into the stands. And that will do it from Peabody, Mass, folks. It is a 5-0 win. The Spartans remain undefeated. They move to 7-0 on the year. Still with their moving to 41 goals on the year and only 4 given up. Players of the game for the 3-star, or at least I'll pick the 3 stars for the St. Mary's bunch: Lauren Vaccaro, Jenna Chaplin, and Marina DiBiaso. Vaccaro with her 2nd shutout of the year, and DiBiaso and Chaplin with their 5th and 6th goals on the season. We'll be, well, actually some quick game notes for the Tanners. I think what happened with them today is they came up against a faster and bigger and more experienced St. Mary's bunch. I think something they need to work on is staying out of the penalty box. I think there had to have been at least, I believe, 10 penalty minutes. That's equivalent to 5 penalty calls on the Tanners today. Carolyn Garofoli will look to regain form as she was benched for, I believe, the last 2 periods altogether. Sad to see such a talented defender go to the bench in such an important game. That's all from the McVan O'Keefe Ice Hockey Arena in Peabody, Mass. I am Bernard Parisi with Peabody Access TV. You can find this game on Peabody Access TV's YouTube channel and on local television networks. I believe Channel 8 is our main affiliate. And we'll see you next time. I don't believe we'll be covering next Sunday's game versus Bishop Fenwick. Hopefully we will. And we'll see you next time with more Tanner Girls Ice Hockey here on Peabody Access TV.